Good morning. This is video 1 of 2 that I wanted to do today. They're kind of connected. One's a little bit funny, one's a little bit serious. This is the serious one. If you looked at the title of the video, I don't give an F about Ukraine. And I know that might ruffle some feathers of people on the left, but that'll, most people on the right will agree. And I don't love the right, don't get me wrong, but I remember, Pepperidge Farm remembers a day when the left used to be anti-war. But over the last 20 years, we've seen sort of a party flip. It's been quite interesting to watch. Interesting and depressing, because I think propaganda has been largely at play for pushing people to flip their positions, mostly the people on the left. The people on the right are affected also, but I must give them credit. They've become way more cool about weed and drugs and other things lately. And so they're growing. They're seeing the potential treatments for things like PTSD and other mental health issues that plant medicines can provide. And they're getting cool about that stuff. They're still not so cool about the gay people thing, but we're working on them. It is our duty. One of my favorite expressions from the Tao Te Ching is, what is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's duty? And I'm not saying all conservatives are bad, all left people are bad, but conservatives who are very anti-gay, if they're not closeted themselves, yeah, that's kind of like our duty to help wake them up from their prejudice. But I'm getting way off subject. Okay, Ukraine. Why do I not care about Ukraine? Because I care about America and the problems we are dealing with at home. We have spent hundreds of billions of dollars to fight a foreign war that we really don't need to be invested in. I don't love Donald Trump, but I do believe him when he said the war would not have been started had he not had 2020 stolen from him. I believe that. But then I also believe that having that election stolen was good, because it lit a fire under him to be just way more intense this go around. And I like a lot of the things he's doing. I won't even get into the whole Hunter Biden Burisma thing, but I'm pretty sure there's a connection to that and money laundering and why the Biden administration cared so much about Ukraine. And I do feel bad, the fact that people are dying and that there's a war going on. But again, this is where I'm so blown away by the left, because I remember when Donald Trump was campaigning for the 2024 election, he was asked, do you want to see Ukraine win the war? And his response, I love it, because he doubled down on it, and they asked twice, specifically framing it as they want Ukraine to win. And his response blew me away. It was, I want people to stop dying. That was his response. I've never heard a president talk about war in a way where he wants people to stop dying. If you don't know this about President Obama, he was known as Obama in chief because he let so many bombs rain down on the Middle East, way more than most other presidents. So he was a very aggressive, violent president. But if you just follow the mainstream media, you won't know that. And so American imperialism, which is just sort of an arm for imperialism of other countries, England, Israel mainly, we're like one of England and Israel's thugs. America is. We're not like, from a global actions perspective, we're not that great. We have toppled many governments, our CIA in connection with Mossad, which, by the way, this video is going really random, but we're going to roll with it. One of the people who got one of the Epstein binders, Mike Cernovich, I really liked Mike Cernovich, but I'm starting to question him now. Let me pause and try and, yeah. I have not fact-checked this statistic yet. I literally just heard it from another YouTuber before I started this video. 70% of Americans do not have $1,000 in their bank account right now. 70% of Americans do not have $1,000 in their bank account right now. That is an insane statistic. That number should be like 7%. And then we should be fighting for that 7% to get their funds up. That's what America should be focusing on right now. So when I talk about fascism, when I talk about this new world order globalist agenda that operates above America, see, we're just one of their pawns, one of their puppets. And that's why they hate Trump. Because although he is an oligarch, he is not part of their club. And so while he's kind of like them, he's not like us, or whatever that Kendrick thing is. I don't know. I'm not super hip. But if 70% of Americans don't have $1,000, that means you're like one car bill away from just plunging it further into debt. There is no reason whatsoever that we should be this struggling as a country. We have more than enough abundance, but our money's been still stolen from us to fund foreign proxy wars and money laundering efforts and schemes for the government cronies and their friends in the non-governmental organizations, non-governmental agencies, non-profits that all these government officials are part of. They vote to get money for these organizations that they sit on the boards of and then give themselves money. That's just one way. There's several ways that our money is being stolen from us. And these wars are a distraction. They want Americans divided and distracted from what is going on so that they can continue their fucking stealing of funds. And I agree with Donald Trump. I want people to stop dying. But it is quite clear that the ruling class does not care about humans. We're just fucking slaves to them. We are little worker bee slaves for them. They don't care about us. If they cared about us, if American politicians cared about us, we would not have the homelessness crisis that we have. We would not have the addiction crisis, the fentanyl overdose problems that we're experiencing. We would not have the obesity and health epidemics that we're experiencing. There is zero excuse for such a technologically developed country to be doing so poorly. And see, the thing is, it's not an excuse that is the reason. It's intentional. The state of America right now is intentional. And that's because for decades they have been doing this shenanigans. Literally for more than 100 years. When I've been looking at American history trying to find like a period where we were not super influenced by external factors like kings and queens and bankers and foreign countries. And I don't really think America's ever been what it could have and should have been. I think there have been times we've been close, like post abolition of slavery, when the black community was doing well for themselves. They were starting to develop funds. They had like the Black Wall Street. There were black millionaires. They were making progress. But then the social engineers got involved and started fucking up the black community. One example, I talk about this often, social welfare workers, so liberal white women going into the homes of black families and telling the ladies that black women specifically, and so I believe America has a systemically racist past, because when white liberal educated college women went into the homes of maybe uneducated black women and said, hey, if you don't marry your man, you'll get more money from the government. Don't you want more of your own freedom? But like, is it freedom if you're living off of other people's money still? No, it's just they were buying votes for their stupid fucking liberal agenda, the neoliberal world order agenda. Fucking communists. I'm way rambling. I don't care about Ukraine. I want people to stop dying. I want money to stop being laundered. And I want America to become what it should have been. And that is our duty. Much love, y'all.